This is day 65 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. In this cycle, the first cycle of Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, this day corresponds with Shabbos Nachamu. And this shiur is dedicated with berakhos for all the singles who are frustrated trying to find a mate in these complicated times. The person who dedicated the shiur wishes to remain anonymous. If you would like to sponsor an upcoming shiur or more than that, please contact me. It would be greatly appreciated. Today's learning is from Siman Lamed Vav Sif Yutes through Siman Lamed Zayin Sif Aleph. In Siman Lamed Vav Sif Yutes, Nun Kefufa, a bent nun, which is a regular nun. Yerosha Kazayin, the top should be like a Zayin. It seems that the Arizal does not disagree with this. As you can see, the top is like a Zayin in the nun. Varoshia Katsur, the top should be short. Moshava Tachton, and the bottom part should be Mashuch Litzad Smo Ma'at Yoser, should be extended a little bit further, Meirosha Elyon, than the top part of the nun. Here it's very little extended. Shalotin Mela base, in order that it shouldn't be look like a base. Mishnah Berurah says you should make the base a little bit drawn to the left, more than Hitev Yoser, more than the top. Sharatzion writes that if you extended the bottom base so much it looks like two letters, there are people who apostle this. I'm not sure what it means to look like two letters, but whatever the case may be, if it's too long, it might look like a chaf. Okay, back to Arukh HaShulchan. V'tiagula Rosh Tachton. The bottom part should be rounded, as we see over here. If it's actually like the number one here, it made it like a vav, not like a zayin. So then, just see this? Yeah. Not quite. Okay, so. Okay, so never mind. So you got the idea. That means the top part, the line hit the top part on the side. It's okay, but the average ain't close, but doesn't like above because you have the bottom part, the base on it. The Shibur writes, Supreme Beganim says tzorchin on this. Some people are machshir. You can fix it even to the mezuzos, because won't be a problem of shaloka sidron. And that will be happen by, of course, you have to make it not chak tuchos. So first you have to remove a little bit from the head to the left, not so much, so it still looks like a nun, and then add a little bit of ink to the right side to make it like the top of a zayin. Okay, so just somewhat more chomer than the Arukh HaShulchan. V'yasav Shlosha Takin, of course, there's to have three takin because of Shatnez gates. Nun sofis, so nun subshuta. Gankin sos rosh zayin. Top also is like a zayin, but Arukh Yosim is zayin. It's longer than a zayin. But shiur Arukh on the length, it's the measure of its length. Kadesh imi kfafenu is that if you would bend the leg up, it would look like a regular nun. Mzeh imasa kevav vaday pasul. But in this case, you made like a vav. It's pasul. Near kavav because that looks simply like a long vav. And there sometimes there are long vavs. The fichach, therefore, yesh litos bevav. You can make a mistake and think it's a vav. Masha enkin bezayin, as opposed to a zayin, ein litos. You're not going to say can't kosim zayin aruch because there are no long zayins. I guess the long vavs is like a big vav in the Torah in several places. There's no big zayin in the Torah. You see, Arukh HaShulchan is not sure if it works to fix it. Because it might be shloka sidron. Nearly, so it seems to me, says Arukh HaShulchan, they should ask a child. If it says vav, no fixing. If he says lu you can fix it. Of course, you ask about shlosha takin, you should make the three takin, as with the nun kefufa. But you're going to tzarich whether you can fix it. This is in Mishnah Berurah. It says we're going to tzarich the other Achronim said it's puzzle. And according to Mishnah Berurah, it seems that even the reading of a child does not work in this, so he's much more machmir. than the Arukh HaShulchan on this. Samech, say Gagol Amala, Aruka, has to be long on top, the Samech. And below it has to be short. It should be round on the top on the right, and the bottom round on both sides. The Yomi is small on right and left. The stomach of the garment may make it completely closed. So it comes out that it's on three sides. It's round, the bottom, the bottom, side small, the sides to the left top, ain't no good where it's not round. Show me the same out hagag, chutz la steam or the travel that the roof goes a little bit outside the closure, and that is the chatchila, he says. The Mishnah Berurah says that also the chatchila should be left, and the shiur should be like the roof of a vav. So it should extend out. It's pretty dramatic, I guess, because but it's as long as it's not like number one here. Number one here is really far out. That's no good. But like it's the same out like a shiur of a vav. V'ayin yaseh Rosh Yimani. The right side should be okay, yud sheponeh l'malaktzas, like a yud which is facing upwards. The call of yud shebetzad yamin b'ayin b'tzadi v'shin. All of the yudin on both an ayin and tzadi on all three. It's ayin, tzadi, shin. Kulam pnei klapi mal. They face upwards. L'chein ein moshivin hatagin aleim. Therefore, you don't put the tagin on them. Rak al tzadon hasheni asmali, but on the left side. V'char mamshich haguf, and then you extend the body by midah ktsas, standing up a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what he means by that, but the lo b'kamimus mamish ka'ayin shebetfus. It shouldn't be bending down. I see. It should be bent down, not bent up as dramatically as an ayin does in printing. V'rosh Hashem yasmali u'kamo zayin. The second part, the other part is like a zayin. Omei ba, standing in it, u'mechabro la guf, and connecting it to the body. V'apika bosa riza yukamish ayin betfilin kishtei vav in yushoros. According to the Rizal, the ayin over here has the two vavs as opposed to a vav and a zayin. Ubo shlosh tagin, of course, the three tagin on it. The Mishnah Berurah writes that the chatchila, you have to make an angle on top, just like it is bent below. I really don't understand exactly what that means, but that's what it says. That but he says two things here. It says actually a couple of things. One of them is that if you extend the ayin. Oh, I was doing the wrong one. That's what I understand it. Never mind. He says if you extend the ayin completely standing, it's not an ayin, and if it's tzarchin, I feel in with the but I assume he means completely standing is that the angle of the ayin goes very far down, and this is like over here, almost looks like a test. Almost looks like a test down here. So that's the ayin goes very far down, and that's no good. Okay, says here you can show it to a child, but this one over here is for sure no good. That looks like very much like a test. Okay, pei krufa. There's simcha chafal. Pei krufa, a bent pei. Here we have a bent pei. Roshayim on either right side, yekofuf ktsas klape malo. We should bend somewhat upwards. Ayin sham, like we wrote in the ayin sham. I'm not sure I see that in the picture. How it's kufa klape malo. I don't know, but somehow it's bent on top. never mind. I was reading the wrong thing. I don't know what I was reading. Again, chafa pei kfufa b'tzad min v'nim tzarich lios lo zavis l'malo l'mata. On the right side, on the inside, it has to have an angle on top and below. L'chutz l'mata, and on the bottom, in other words, the internal edges of the pei have to be sharp. The external edges of the pei, chutz l'mata yetegul, on the bottom it should be rounded. The kol kfifus agulim l'mata mechutz, because all the bends are supposed to be rounded at the on the outside. But on top, on the outside, because of Baal Baruch Shamar, that shetia gula k'mo lamata, it's supposed to be round on the bottom, like the bottom of Rabbeinu Beis Yosef b'shem Rabbi Yerochosid Mali Yelo Zavisni v'chutz k'lifnim. On top, it should be angled, like below, like on the inside. So here it is angled. In other words, it's not rounded like it is on the bottom. The Mishnah Berurah says it should be like a small angle, whatever. I guess not a full angle. It's not 90 degrees. In the white part in the middle, it's actually also as base. It's got to look like a base. And that white part should be a pen and a half wide. They be close by the kudah in order to dangle within it the nakuda, the dot which goes inside, so the gufa that should not touch the body. It's got to have an oketz. On top we have an oketz, a chupchik, which goes downwards, then extend downwards to the dot in the middle. Kudo meshach oktzah, and the nakuda, the dot in the middle, and with the chupchik on top, continuing down, it should be like a vav when if you turn the pei upside down. There's a little flourish inside the pei. I don't see it addressed here. Why is a little flourish over here on the inside of the pei? But there is a little flourish there. In any event, that is the pei, the regular pei. Pei sophis. Pei pshuta yesh omrim. Some people say shetehei agula umalo mitzad yamin lechatchila should be round on top on the right, preferably. I'm a kabbalah chasim. It's supposed to be square on top, and this one is squarish. The Mishnah Berurah says that lechatchila you have to make an angle on top, like the angle on top should be like the same, like a pei kfufa, like a regular pei has on top. Pei kfufa, it's got to be long enough that you would make a regular pei into the chafafena if you bend it. And the dot and the chupchik are like the one which is bent like a regular pei. The kush should not go the other direction, in which case it would look like a tuff. Tzadi kefufa. The tzadi kefufa. The tzadi kefufa, a regular tzadi will show you many kefuf tzas klapi malo. Right side should extend upwards a little bit. Kamosha kosav nine like we're in ayin sham. This is sifcha bez. I forgot to say that. And the thigh you should put in the middle of its neck, below the mata, not on the bottom. Shlotid mela ayin, so it shouldn't look like an ayin. For Roshas Mali Yekamo Zayin, the left side should be like a Zayin. The Sharat Sion writes that b'diavad it's not. It doesn't have to look like a Zayin. It should be recognized that it's just not a line, but it has some substance to it on top. The Tzavar Ktsasaroch, its neck is a little bit long. Moshava Mashuch Tzad small heitei, and the bag should be extended properly to the left. And it looks somewhat like a bent nun with a yud aleh, yud upon it. And preferably rounded on the bottom right. It's like all the bent letters. This is a tremendous issue in the Achronim. As far as like called Tzidkas HaTzadik and stuff like that. Not that it was Reb Tzaddik Tzidkas HaTzadik. Going to Rizal, the yud on the tzaddik is backwards. And the Chazon Ish held that tefillin written like that are possible for Ashkenazim. And most people can disagree with the Chazon Ish, but that caused, I think, a long-standing feud between the Chazon Ish and Lubavitch, because they could not accept that they're tefillin apostle. And in any event, it's a big controversy, as I said. The smaller nukufa, the left side is like the ben nun, like we said, yesh b'shlosh tagin, has 3 tagin. 3 tzadik pshuta, the end side. Te rosh b'kifufa, top should be like a regular tzadik. But and its legs should go down further from the connection of the where the heads are connected to it. It's preferable that it should be yeah, but tzadik kufa, that if you bend it, it would be like a regular tzadik. Kuf. Sif chav gimel. Yagaga shav, that should have a straight roof. Acharei yerecha akumete, and the back, its thigh should be very rounded, very crooked, I guess is the right term. The tag katan agago b'tzad small is a little tag on top of it on the left. The taluba regel shleyago baguf, and it has to have a leg which does not touch the body. V'naga psulak mobeh, if it touches the body, it's possible like in a hay. So it should not be more than pen's width away from the roof. The Shabura puts it differently. He says it should not be more than the width of the roof away from the roof. And it should be thick on top of the leg, and we smite and get get narrower as it goes down. It's interesting. It doesn't mention it has to look like a zayin, even though this one looks like a zayin. So I guess that's not an impediment, but yevit. But let's see what he says here. He doesn't have such a scenario. Okay. For a race, that should be easy, right? Teagula legamri nachred should be completely rounded on the right. Shluti mel dal and shun lo yadav v'yachok katsar. It should have a short thigh. In other words, the part coming down should be not so. It shouldn't extend out. It shouldn't extend down too far. It shouldn't look like an end cuff. So it should be not that far down. Shin. Roshayim, you mean by him, so you can use Shapanel Lamala. The right and middle heads should be like regular yuds. Commercial ayin sham, like wrote bayin ayin. Mr. Brewer says that the first head should be like a vav and the second one like a yud, but I'm not sure there's any round difference really in that. Rosh Hashlishi has small, the left one, Kain Zayin, should be like a Zayin. If you kabbalah Arizal, Koshim should fill with Shlosha Kavin, Kashlosha Vamini Yeshorim. According to Arizal, all the shins should be vav vav vav, it's supposed to, or yud yud vav, as opposed to yud zayin. Guess my chav is yud yud vav equals 26. I don't know. In any event, b'tzarich l'dabek rosham tzor l'tzad small amata. The middle one, the middle head has to be connected to the left side. And the bottom, and the base of the shin, it should not be wide, but narrow on the left. But as you call Roshim Omnia Regel Achas, and then all the heads will stand on the same leg. Kuf v'areish, just like a kuf and a reish. Mishnah Berurah says the left head should be preferably directly straight, and he should draw to it the thigh from the first head in an angle to the place where it gets sharp. And the second one, the second thigh, also he should draw down on an angle to the left, so all three roshim are connected, the bottom in the same place. The gimel tagin rosha and 3 tagin should be on the top. Below yigur roshim zebazet, the top should not touch each other. His barn, we already explained the kol tagim hema regal small, all the tagim are on the left side. Tough. It should look like a dalit, which means it's extended a little bit like a dalit to the right. The regel small, the left leg. Yeshel sim kain vav avucha. Some people make it like an upside down vav. Yeshel sim dalas ketana avucha. Some people make it like an upside down dalid, but it's like a small upside down dalid. V'chein agua sofrim. That's the sofrim's custom. Huna zuhi marokeach. The rokeach had a drawing of it. Tmunos vav avucha. Let me sefer at tmunos, whereas the backwards vav is from the sefer at tmunos. V'chein makom shnagu ketmuna zu. Since it comes from a chashva origin, those who use that custom, we don't protest against them. Mishnah says wherever the halacha is unclear, go after the minute. The left leg has to touch the top, the groove. The right leg should not be so long. It shouldn't look like a pencil face. You make the protrusion on the left leg, the mata, the tzad chutz, on the bottom towards the outside. Should be facing outside. And the roof on top, which extends out like a dalit, should not go further than the extent to which the bottom of the tuff extends. So here, I guess it can be shorter because that's what it looks like in this picture over here. With this, we explain the whole alabase. There are those things which are impediments in the evet, and some things which are not impediments at all. The general principle is love. If the letter has the proper form, it's not like another letter. Kosher. It's okay, like we explained several times. You have to make the 3 targets, shot in his gates. If you didn't put in the target, it's not possible. But some people do possible. It's the Bach, evidently. So you should be careful to fix them. Because no problem to go back and fix the tag. About tagging, you can zayni ktanimot. They're like very tiny zayins. The Mishnah Berurah says each one is a line, and it's better to make it like a zayin, which would be a very tiny and narrow zayin. The shlosha tagging the mal berus mali kamosh kusam. They're always on the left head of the letter. Okay. Some say the Mishnah Berurah brings down. Some say the tagging should be like one protruding a little bit to the right, one a little bit left, and one in the middle. But the custom is to make them straight up and not to make them go on angles. Rambam machshir shlo tigon. The Rambam says it's kosher even if you didn't make tagim. Yesh o tagim machem shlo go sofrim between pikabos hakadmonim. There are other tagim which the sofrim put in tefillin based on kabbalah of the ancients. We saw a few tagging in the middle of the letters when we went through them. It's proper to be careful with them. But certainly if you didn't make them, it's not possible. Rampeg Beis Choshev Osios Tiyokos Sheba Arba Parashos Sheba Tefillin Vein Vein. And the Rambam talks about lists the letters which have tagging, and these are they in Sif Chavav, and we'll go through this quickly. But Parashon Shani Yesh Osachas Mem Stuma Shel Miyamim Aleh Shlosha Zaini. So that actually is tag, which is not part of the. It's not part of the actual Shatnez gates. Now remember, our tefillin here. This one is. I don't see the Mem Stuna Shem Yomim has. Oh, this is Kadesh Likol B'chor. That's why it's number 1. No, Kadesh B'chor is the first parsha. Miyamin is in the last line, and this tefillin which I have here, which we know is not Mahudar, it does not have a tag, any tag on the end mem, any zainin on it. The Parsha Shniach Hamesh Osios, the Kulan Hay, Bakol Chad Arba Zainin. Okay, I'm not even going to bother looking. Veiluhain, Ahei Sham Nasnalcha, whatever it says there. Hein Shel Hiksha Paro, Hey Rishoina, Hey Achroina, Shel Hiksha. The both Hay's Hiksha Paro, the first Hay and last A Shel Hiksha. No, it's Hiksha Paro. The Hey Rishoina, Hey Achroina, Shel Hiksha. The first and last A of Hiksha. The Hey Shel Bayarov, Hey Shel Yotcha. Pasha Shishma Yesh B'Chamish Osios. Kuf Shel Kumecha Shlosha Zainin. The 3 Zains Kuf Shel Kshatim Shlosha Zainin. The Tataf Shel Totavas Kolachos Osmehem Arba Zainin. Parashaviyas Chamisha Osios. The 5 letters Pei Shel Vasafta Gimel Zainin. Tav Shel Vasafta Zayin Echad. The Tataf Shel Tavas Dal Zainin. Kol Echad Mishlosh Don. All 3. Chol Osios Hamim Mutuyagos Heim Tez Zayin. There's 16 altogether. If you don't put tag in them, lo paslon. Vizel kabbalah Rambam. And then shimusha Rabba ve'vilatur Isa, but that's the Rambam. But the shimusha Rabba tour, which tour brings out says Shon Kalafa based at the as for the target the motzah tefillin Elohein. These are the ones which have tagin chetz vos shi lamat the parshas kadesh bafar hazam ach takach chatat parshas vayakviyachah. Shatn is gates, Parsha Shema Shema. V'achi Perusha. What does it mean to say? Chetz is ches shel chametz. Chat tagi, 1 tag. Tzadi hey tagi. Vav samech de hayivusi. Gimel tagi. They have 3 tagi. Bizarre b'tagin shel vav. In the brackets he says the tagin shel vav should asosam dakimot should be very narrow. V'chein kol yud and also the yud shalot the kalkel. Tzuras Osios, the letter should not be ruined. Shin Dasher has base tagi. Yud Shel Li Gimel tagi. Lamed Mem Ein Laman Dalet tagi. Tuf the Torah's Gimel tagi. Sorchin is the Tuf he says here, because Torah says 2 tufs. Beis the V'yacha, Pei Reish the Peter, Gimel tagi. Hazam the Schorim, Gimel tagi. Ach, the Yishalcha, Dalet tagi. Dalet diyad, Kuf the Hiksha, Ches the Lishalchenu, Chavhei diyadcha, Gimel tagi. Tat the Totafos, Hey tagi. Shalnes gates, Sha the Shema, Tat the Totafos, Nun the Navshcha, Zaz the Mezuzas, Gimel the Goncha, Tzadi Toretz, Gimel tagi, Akan Lashonu. The class of the Torah notes is an obvious point. Loyal Haskell shot in his gates. Ayin Sham. Shot in his gates, everybody knows. Nemesis Kiram Makla Shlomas olive base, and he only mentioned them in order to complete for the olive base. So I bring out a copy of Motordick film. I don't think you can really see it on the screen, but if you look at Miyamim, it indeed has 3 tagim on the mem. So filling me in Mahudaros. Actually have all those tagging. You really can't see it. It's too faint. But it's there. And all those extra tagging are there in letters which you normally wouldn't have them. Like the Hey of Yamima. Okay, it's there. They do it. Simon Lamed Zain. Go mitzvah tefillin kamuchiv la say so some. The greatness of the mitzvah tefillin. The Gedolah mitzvah tefillin aleph shekom nicham aricham. Anybody puts someone has extended life. Shneimar Hashem alehem lehem yichyu. Hashem upon them will live. Some shnosim alehem shem Hashem. So it's read Hashem alehem, name of God is upon them. Shem tefillin yichyu, they will live. Visa b'shimusha rabba, it says in the shimusha rabba the kol ma'amin yach tefillin. V'sata b'tzitzis, anybody puts on tefillin and tzitzis. The kori kriya shema mispalel, that says shema and davids muftach lo shu ben olam haba. He's a Ben Olam, and the fire of Canaan does not have governance over him. And his sins are forgiven. It says in Masech the Brachos called Nifna. Anybody goes to the bathroom, no Yodim, and washes his hands, and when film, puts that film, called Kriya Shema, Mispalo, Kilubana Mizbeach, as if he built a Mizbeach, but Kibble of Korban and put a sacrifice of a Korban. Very in short. The Chol Shein Me'ach Tefillin, anybody does with film, Ober B'Shmona Asay. He transgresses 8 mitzvahs a say. The Badal Parsha shel Tefillin Ksiva shel Yad shel Rosh. And the 4 parshas Tefillin says shel Yad and shel Rosh, and each one is considered to be an asay. Kol achas asay b'tzvei atzma. Kol shemei inyan enemy of tefillin, but he doesn't put a tefillin. He called posher. So Begufo is called a criminal, a Jewish criminal in his body. Therefore, every Jew has to be careful. A great Jewish male has to be careful in this great mitzvah. And has to pursue a sofer who is truly God fearing. And have proper, nice, and outstanding tefillin. You should remember that not every day and not every year is by tefillin. Hopefully your tefillin lasts a lifetime. And how we be skimpy on this on a bit of money on mitzvah g'dayla l'rabos b'shayim, the mitzvah for us for many years to come.